Hi, welcome back to another episode of Random Rants with Random. With your host today, all the farmers of the world that give us life, the food we need to survive. So I just wanted to highlight a video I saw by this young lady called Lily Kane, spelled Lillie Kane. And she did a story with a guy called Farmer David called Beware Your Meat is Being Gassed. Now this was an amazing video to watch. Farmer David is a very intelligent young man, is well spoken and knows what he's talking about and speaks the truth. And it's very appropriate his name's David because he is going up against not one but three Goliaths. He's got big corporations like all the fertilizer and seed companies that want to sell all this GMO stuff nowadays. He's got the government trying to shut everyone down that has cows because they make too much methane. And he's got vegans that are trying to get everything shut down because they're vegans. I do appreciate the animal protection side of it, guys, but you've really got to look into what is involved with growing vegan food. It's not very much animal protection at all. Anyway, I just wanted to highlight one thing on this video. Farmer David mentioned about everyone complains about the methane that comes out of cows when they fart and whatever. Let alone there's how many people in the world that fart. What are we going to do about us? Anyway, so these cows that fart have become a huge ecological disaster to the world. They've caused all the greenhouse gases, according to the governments. So now it's going to the stage where in the Netherlands, these farmers that had big farmers that grow all the food that feed the rest of the world, they're now being shut down because they have too many cows and their methane levels are too high. So what they have to do is they have to reduce the size of their farm so it's a like meterage per animal fart rate sort of deal. So they have to sell sometimes 3/4 of their farm. But then the big corporation comes in and buys the other 3/4 and then splits the other 3/4 up into 3 individual farms managed by 3 different people. So poor old Farmer Joe is now got 1/4 of his farm and can't produce as much food and money as he used to look after his own family. And this one corporation comes in and buys multiple farms and splits them up and has all these individual managers / owners. And the other side of it, so no less methane's being produced overall. They're just buying their carbon credits, which is the big thing you can do now to make yourself ecologically friendly. Make too much carbon, you can just buy the credits and it just neutralizes it all. It's amazing. I can't believe these magical systems that governments come up with. Anyway, so not only that, Farmer Joe's stuck with all these huge farm equipment, like his big tractors, his big sprayers, his big seeders. Everything that he needed to run his big farm before is now all just a bit too big for his newly acquired hobby farm. So what happens is the big corporation comes in again and buys them at a much reduced price because they really are giving him a favour and a handful of magic beans. And then they can use those big machines on the rest of the other 3 little farms because they start a rent scheme up that one farmer rents his thing to this farmer and that farmer rents it to that farmer. So all the big machines still get used on the farm, but on 3 little farms. So it's a huge scam. And the whole world's being turned by this because of the methane, the ecological disaster. Climate change is natural. I will admit that what we are doing, these big corporations in the world, are not helping. But in the general rule, climate change is a natural progress that goes from ice age to heat wave to ice age to heat wave. It's done it so many times in the Earth's history that you can't refute those facts. So anyway, what I found really interesting in Farmer David's video was he actually mentioned that when there's lots of cows turning up the ground, chewing the grass, keeping the ground really healthy, and doing their farting, doing their pooing, in only those areas where there's cows, there's a microbe that's been discovered that eats methane. Nothing's been discovered like this before. Scientists thought it was an impossibility. This microbe, bacteria, eats methane. And he went on to explain that if you've got a paddock of 100 cows in a properly maintained paddock that's tilled and the grass is kept to a good height and the cows turn it up and the cows return the water they drink to the ground and it's a perfectly healthy ecological system, these methane microbes eat more than enough of the methane to support over the 100 cows that are on that land. So basically, they want more methane than the cows can provide. So these microbes are in the world eating all the methane. And you can guarantee the scientists of the world know this. If Farmer David knows it, he is a very smart guy. But if he knows it, most of the scientists of the world in agriculture would know this as well. But it's not stopping the government push to close down all these farms that have got all these cows producing methane. And it's just another government scam to try and shut us down. In his video, he's got lots of really amazing, well thought out points about veganism and the big corporations that sell the GMO products and how they work their land. And it's a really amazing video to watch, and I highly recommend it, by Lily Kane. Beware Your Meat is Being Gassed, with Farmer David. An amazing young bloke, very brave young bloke. I hope he does well. Anyway, keep it real on the back wheel.